I just can't talk to everybody, unfortunately.
Hello, everyone. We're waiting for people to join in.
Hello.
Okay, so we have Sakshi. Hi, Sakshi. Hey, Tina. Hi, good evening. Nikhil, I guess, Nikhil, you joining the first time or you were there before? People keep writing, what do you do? Where are you from? So that we all know you. It'll be interesting to know everyone, whoever is joining. You can switch on your video so that we can see your lovely faces. And it'll be in an interactive session. Hi, Alok, good evening. You could join on the Zoom. Nice to see you. Okay, Nikhil, you're from Pune first time. Nice, lovely, lovely to see you. We are going live as well on FB. Hi, Sangeeta, good evening. How are you doing? Hello, Archana. Archana is from Muscat. Thank you so much, Archana, for joining. Is it a morning there or afternoon? Archana, is it Archana from Muscat? Okay, you can, we love hearing people talking to their families. That's nice. However, you can mute when they are talking. That's okay. we love your kids coming and interrupting you. That's absolutely okay. We are living in a social world. Kathy, unmute yourself. Okay, evening 5:30. Oh, good evening, Archana. So 1.5 hour before. Okay. Nice, nice, lovely. Thank you. Chennai. Priyanka is from Chennai. She's joining the first time. So, okay, so that was from Priyanka. Hello, Priyanka. Good evening.
Welcome.
Kansha is from Patna. Okay. Patna. Nice. People keep writing, what do you do and where you from? Hi, Shrikala. Nice to see you. Hello, Winky. Good evening.
Hi. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Beautiful smile.
Lovely, lovely to see you. Thank you. Lovely to see you again. Hello, Puneet. Could anyone please tell me SD iPhone? What's your name, please? Will be helpful for me to know your name. Hi, Deepshikha. Hi, Shalini. Hello, Parul. Good evening, Suraj, Nisha. Vinod. Hi, Vinod from Gurgaon. How are things there?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ridhima. I have been waiting for your session from last few days. And actually, I'm also in NLP. I am working on children. If you have heard about Google Girl of India, Google Boy, Genius Kids on many TV channels. They all are trained by us. And Google Girl of India is my daughter, Jia Futela.
Interesting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much. And
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. And she has been as selected as Google Girl of India. She got this title when she was only 8 years old. And at the age of 9, she got a National Girl Child Award. And 2 days before this, day before yesterday, one of our students, 5.5 only, उसने केमिस्ट्री का पूरा पीरियोडिक टेबल एटॉमिक नंबर मास उसने वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड कायम किया है अभी.
Wow, wow, wow. Interesting, lovely. Congratulations
thank you
for
so
the
much.
achievements. Nice, nice. This is amazing. Love to interact with you and know more about it. Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. There's so many things which is there.
I know, and there's 1 hour and a half is not enough, is it? To talk to everybody and I would actually like to get to know you more on an individual basis. Everyone, there's so many people, and sometimes I feel like I haven't spoken to everyone.
It's so exciting to know that there's so many people joining in, and I like to know, and that's why whenever there is a time for my team to connect with all of you and to arrange a personal coaching and understand your objectives and set your outcomes, it's very interesting. So we'll keep doing that. Hi Shah Gupta. Hi Shah Gupta. We saw you. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining. How are you? Thank you. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Hi. First of all, thank you so much, and I really appreciate for you to take an initiative and investing your time here, because I think in these times this is what we need the most than anything else. I'm sure you'll be agreeing on it. That's it.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's actually happening
understandable.
because there's so many people who are showing interest. It's about that motivation which comes in. Oh my God, people are happy about it. People like it, and it is all about getting people together. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lovely to-
And also what's important is people on a practical level can utilize what we're talking about and make some changes on several levels. If we can just make one small change, I think we're happy.
True.
So thank you.
So true.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks to you.
The self-application. It's 7:09. Kathy, we will start. There are people still joining in.
Sure.
I'm just saying there are people still joining in, but we will start. So hello, everyone, and good evening to all of you from wherever you are joining. Namaste from here in Pune, from Maharashtra. And thank you so much for sending so much of love, appreciation, motivation, and your thoughts for the entire team of Ridhima and I Flame. And thank you so much, Kathy, as well, for giving us so much of time in these so many months. So thank you so much, everyone, to make this happen. Oh, no audio, no volume. Mrinal, are you not able to hear? Are you able to hear everyone? Yep. Okay. All right. Mrinal, could you please check in there? Yeah. Mrinal, please check in there. Thank you so much. So we'll go ahead. A lot of people have been introduced. You know my introduction. I've been working with NLP for more than 7 years. I've been practicing it. And we both, me and Kathy, believe a lot on self-application. So applying on self and knowing how I can utilize it for myself is the key in NLP. And that's what we want to drive. That's a culture which we want to develop for internal system and for your positive intention, for your higher purpose. That's the purpose of these webinars. We've been doing webinars on a variety of topics, so high performance, new code, rapport building, rep systems, different kind of perceptive positions, association, disassociation. However, what we have done, or the matter of the fact that there are different people joining in at different times, we have kept every webinar individual. We have kept every webinar independent so that you can understand that topic very clearly. We love to have interactions. We love to talk to you. We love the feedback. We love you asking questions, as many as you want. Challenge the way you want. You think, no, it's not going to work. Can you give me some other thing? Please do that. Even after the webinar, you have any question which is coming up to you, please write an email if you want to, or you can go directly on ridhimadua.com. There is a meet button, a tab up over there in the website. You go directly on that meet and you block your date and time so that you can set up a personal discussion. So the idea is about discussing, because we all know that 1.5 hours for any specific topic in NLP is not justice. I would directly say that, because we have actually gone into so many things. So I know that I'm generalizing or I am just passing on the belief, but that's just the way it is. Yeah. Okay. So without wasting too much of time, let's get into today's topic. So today's agenda for all of us is about high performance state. I got to know about high performance state when I learned new code practitioners with John Grinder, Michael Carroll, and Carmen Bostic in Portugal. And I met Kathy as well over there, the beautiful lady. I did not know that I will have such kind of beautiful connect with her. We enjoy our relationship. We actually get into with each other like anything. I really did not know that it just happened. Yeah, Kathy, and it's so
Yes.
exciting. It's just exciting. So I got to know about the performance, high performance state in the new code, and trust me, I wasn't so clear. I wasn't so clear until I practiced multiple times in the new code game format. And I understood, oh, okay, this is what you're saying. So, what you say to what you mean to reach there, to what you say in the words, and to what you mean to reach there, there is a lot of work which happens in the unconscious, and you actually do it. I think that comes with application.
Totally.
It comes with surrendering to that particular technique and just doing it and just doing it and just doing it and then coming out and then understanding, oh, what happened? I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out. And I got to know this, that when everything, while you're doing that new code game format, especially, this was explored for me, Kathy, in the Rhythm of Life game.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Rhythm of Life game, when I was doing that, when there was nothing, just nothing, and then I got to know, oh, okay, there's something happening. I don't know. I came back and I told, one of the mentors, Ivalo.
Yes, dear
Yeah,
Ivalo.
yeah, I love her.
Beautiful, elegant woman.
Yes, yes. And she looked at me, I looked at her without saying that what is happening. Collaboration again. And there I actually got to know the definition of that high performance to what is happening. However, there could be different ways in which we will understand here in this class. Okay, so we are going to understand this in a very simple way. Please understand that whatever we are going to do is just the tip of the iceberg, just the tip of it, and not the complete of it. Okay, all right. And we can go on and have more applications around it. Feel free to ask questions around it, around the topic of high performance state, which comes from New Code NLP, and we go more about it. Before we proceed to the topic, and I ask you about what do you mean about high performance, I would like Kathy to introduce herself to everyone. My beautiful lady, go ahead so that people know you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ridhima. First of all, I once again thank you for inviting me and coming back all this weeks. It's a pleasure to contribute in this way, and hopefully people can get what they want from these conversations. I learn more from what I get from you than what I am teaching. For me, NLP is about self-awareness, self-application, and we explore that on the several webinars that we do, and hopefully it will come across to everybody who's listening to us. We invite you not to believe us, actually to question us, to doubt what we say, to challenge us in every possible way, with the intention of you going out and testing it for yourselves, you going out and experiencing it for yourselves. And if you agree with us, great. If we don't agree with us, better yet. We agree to disagree, and it's okay. Like Ridhima say, we disagree, and it's okay. That's what makes our relationship better. Our working relationship, I think, has improved immensely in the last weeks. And I'm going to utilize this moment to thank Ridhima's team, which I think have been incredible in the work they've done in the last weeks and in organizing all of this. So once again, thank you to the team.
Thank you so much.
With this said, I started studying NLP 11 years ago. I'm an NLP trainer for the last 6 years. I'm a new code NLP trainer for the last four years, if I'm not mistaken. My passion is new code. I started studying it extensively in the last 6 years. And the change on a personal level was enormous. And to the point where I decided, okay, I'm going to do this professionally. I'm going to do my own business, have my own company. And that I decided that 2 years ago, because before that, I felt I didn't have enough competencies to be a professional coach. So I took me like 8 years of training and testing and practicing and exploring and making mistakes and learning from those mistakes to get to the point where I am now. And self-application, which we will be talking about, I think next week, right, Ridhima?
Yeah.
Or in 2 weeks. Self-application is one of the, if not the most important thing about NLP, and especially NLP New Code. Because when people ask me what is NLP New Code or what is a high performance state, I usually say you can't explain it, you have to do it. So this is a challenge for the next 1 hour and a half, and how we are going to task you so you could experience it all on several levels. Well, I'm going to start by telling a story of I started working with two athletes, professional paddle players. I don't know if in India you have paddle there. It's a mixture between, and if anybody hears me, they'll probably assassinate me. It's a mixture between tennis and squash. Okay, they have lateral walls and you rebound off the walls. And this game particularly, it was born in or started in South America. It became huge in Argentina, and when it came to Europe, it's pretty huge in Spain. And in the last 7-8 years, it's been very big in Portugal. And 6 years ago, I started working with, and there's a particular thing that is very interesting about paddle is that you play with two players. So you're always playing with two players. So the level of empathy and the level of rapport is pretty big for it to work. So I started working with these two athletes, and around 4 years ago, I started working with just one of them specifically. And she came to me and she says, I want to be national champion this year. This was 4 years ago. And I go, okay, let's start working towards that. And for a year, I had watched every single game she played on the weekends. I went to every single game for a whole year. So I knew through my observation and calibration, her movements, her patterns, when she was going into internal dialogue while she was playing, when she didn't get the point, what did she do before? So I was getting to know her on a pattern, her behavior on a pattern level pretty well. And 1 week before the national championship, she was pretty sure she was going to win. I didn't go to the game before the national championship, and she was pretty convinced that she was going to win. And she lost. She lost the game. And she came to me on Monday, the day after the game, and she was pretty tense. She was crying. She had this difficulty in dealing with losing, which we worked on. But she wanted to be national champion. And she's, oh my God, how am I going to do this? There's 1 week left. We lost against supposedly people that were not so strong at us. How am I going to do this? Now she was going into a lot of internal dialogue, a lot of internal doubt. How am I going to do this? How am I going to get there? I want to be national champion. How am I going to do this? And I said, okay, let's schedule a session, a coaching session on Wednesday, one day, and please bring your racket, because it's a wooden racket. And she did. And we did perceptual positions, which I think Ridhima has spoken about in some of her webinars. If it's a technique used in NLP to get more information and different perspectives. So we did perceptual positions in the session. I asked her to use her racket so she could anchor the state and her goals to her racket. And knowing her, after all the weekends I had observed her, I knew that one of the things that would trigger her was her internal dialogue. Her face would change. Her muscles would be tense on her jaw. Her eyes would go down and squeak. She would stand up straight. Interesting, because usually in paddle, to be in a position of focus, you're more inclined. But she would stand up straight, and her racket would be at the side of her body. So when I'd see this, I'd know she'd be in internal dialogue. So I asked her, okay, because we don't have time at the time, I thought, because we don't have time to practice the internal dialogue, instead of what you're saying, what do you want to say? And she said, okay. And she was holding on to the racket. She goes, I want to say point. And I'll go, okay, repeat consistently, point, 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 point during the whole game, during the next 3 to 4 days. And she goes, okay. So we did perceptual positions. We did a new code game, which I think was the alphabet game. And then I put her back in first position, and she was holding the racket. And so I told her to go home. And the only task I'd given her was to repeat consistently, point, 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 point. So, okay, the game came, the weekend came, the game came. And I knew the exact moment that she went into a high performance state in the game. I knew exactly. Her body was inclined forward. Her shoulders were away from her neck. She was holding the racket with both hands. Her jaw was loose and her eyes were open. I would almost say that I wasn't that close up, but I would say that her pupils were dilated. And there was this sort of smoothness to her face. Okay. And I knew exactly the moment she went into a high performance state, I could tell straight away. And she won. She and her partner, they won the game. They were named national champions of that year. And at the end of the game, it was really cool because I went up to her to congratulate her. And she goes, I'm sorry, Kathy. And I'm going, sorry? Why are you apologizing? You just won. And she goes, I didn't do what we said. I didn't do what I said I would do in our session. I said that I would say point, but I didn't need to say point. I felt it. And I started to smile and I go, okay, good. So her internal dialogue stopped automatically without any apparent external interference. And she goes, and do you know when I went into a high performance state in the game? And I go, yes, I do. You did it on the second set. And I told her when, and she goes, yes, that's when I went into my internal dialogue just stopped. And I smiled. With this said, the work I had been doing with her for the whole year before, and on that specific day, we worked high performance state with the new code game. We put her into her state where she would be able to focus on her goal and be able to get any resources necessary, any competencies necessary to win the game. And she did. And it was really interesting to see that she didn't even need to say the word point. She felt it. And for me, that was one of the turning points in the work I was doing. This was 6 years ago. Yeah, this was beginning of me working with new code. This was a turning point. And I said, this works. This absolutely worked. But I continued to test and to calibrate what would work or not. So this for me was a very important turning point in my work with new code. And how can we give you an idea of what a high performance state is? And first of all, it comes from self-awareness, self-calibration, being very aware of your own body and how your body and in contact, of course, with your thoughts and your mind, how does it work? How do you breathe? Are people aware of how they breathe? How is the facial expressions? Is there tension in the neck? Is there tension in the jaw? How do you walk? How do you move your hands when you're speaking? When you're giving a speech, when you're interacting with children, when you're interacting with your husband or your wife or with a friend? Those are different states. How is the body movement? So my first task for everybody is to be self-aware of how you function on all levels and in all interactions in several contexts. Okay, and I'm going to invite Ridhima to show the chain of excellence, so we can go on to a small, like Ridhima said, it's the tip of the iceberg. And thank you. Thank you, Monica. Yeah, this is so overwhelming. I would really love to interact with everybody. So we're going to share the chain of excellence, which is the core of high performance state.
We would do that with the exercise. Let them do the exercise, and then we would
First,
open
and
that
okay,
so that
okay, sure enough.
so that they don't make up the whole thing.
Okay,
Interpretations and how does it work faster.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ridhima.
Yep. In the whole story, what Kathy is telling, a lot of people are already practitioners. There could be some people who know new code, and there are people who are getting into NLP, and there could be some who are already coaches. If I have to put this across together in this entire story, there is rapport, state choice, collaboration, leading and pacing, anchoring with the word point, collaborating again what's happening, a new code game format, tapping to the unconscious with the new code game to create the high performance at the unconscious level, and there is a change created without asking at the conscious level what is the resource which you need. In the classic code practitioner, there are techniques in which we do ask that what is the resource which we need, etc., etc. But in the new code, it's quite different. So there are multiple things which has been integrated together to make sure that we are reaching the outcome for the coachee. Okay, so there are multiple things which we are definitely covering in the NLP coaching, or what we are doing right now, and that's what we do. It is just like, there is a cake. So you have the flour, you have the sugar, you have the maybe chocolate syrup which you want to add in, or a chocolate, you have baking powder, baking soda, etc. Now you have these different ingredients. How do you want to bake it, and what is the outcome that you need? If you need a chocolate, a dark chocolate, you would change a little. If you need a banana in it, you would change a little. However, the foundation, the basic ingredients would remain the same. So there are multiple things when we are explaining all of this to you. There are multiple things to bake the cake, and then right now we are just at the ice, the top icing, which is there, which is high performance state. Yeah. So we can come back to the question, Monica, a little later while we complete this one of the small exercise which we are going ahead.
Sure, Ridhima.
Yeah, thanks. I really like questions. Please let the questions flow. It really helps us to know you and understand. It's really, really interesting. So let's go ahead and first understand that what is high performance state, utilizing a very small technique quickly. Or would you like me to go ahead, Kathy, with the technique quickly with them?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So everyone, I invite you to think about something which you love to do. It could be anything. Cooking, swimming, dancing, singing, playing, a meditation, anything which you love to do and which you enjoy doing. It just gets into the flow. You have thought about that particular thing which you love to do. Yep. And now, meditation, Nisha. Nice. Okay. You can write it down in the chat box.
Please share.
Love to. Yeah. It'll help us. All of us. Come on. Let's start sharing what you love to do, what you like to do, and let's test it. Listening music. Okay. Dancing. Oh, amazing. Reading, cooking, dancing, painting, badminton.
Drawing. Nice. Reading books. Yes.
Watching movies. Lovely. Watching movies. That's interesting. How would it be? Oh, amazing. That's good test.
Long walks.
Long
walks.
Arts and crafts.
Teaching and chatting. Yes.
Theater. Mrinal says theater, Kathy.
Nice. I'm doing a theater course.
Lovely. Bringing change in life of self and others service. Lovely, Aniruddha. However, can we be specific in terms of what
Mandela? Yes. Sakshi.
Mandela
calligraphy and Mandela art. Yes.
Yeah.
You go into a high performance state.
Yeah.
And it's important to realize that there are different levels of high performance state. Okay. And I'll give you a small example. What I've done when we're not in lockdown anymore. We've lifted our lockdown on the 5th of this, yes, the beginning of this month. But while I was in lockdown, depending on my intention for the day, if I wanted to be extremely focused and active, I would take a cold shower of 6 minutes. And my state would go really focused. I'd be very attentive and very active. If I wanted to be more creative, and again, this is personal experience, each person's different. I invite you to explore what is for each and every one of you. This was for me. This is just an example. And if I wanted to be more creative and more calm and more quiet, I would meditate for 20 to 30 minutes. So depending on what I had that day, or what I was going to do that day on a professional level or on a personal level, I would do, or I would meditate, or I would take the cold bath or shower, or go to walk my dogs. It would depend. So we invite you to explore all these examples. What's the common factor in all of these examples? What happens?
We like to have received the answers. Yeah, Kathy, go ahead.
What happens when you go for a long drive, when you exercise, when you do the mandalas, when you go for a meditation, when you read a book, when you cook? What's the common factor when you play cricket? Wake up early. I agree. What's the common factor? What's happening? What's happening to the body? What's happening to the mind? Concentration, exactly. Do we have internal dialogue? Yes or no? We do? Satisfaction, fulfillment, feeling. Okay. When we're in the flow, when we're are we going in the flow, or is our internal dialogue on?
You can think about it. You can choose to think about it right now itself, and think about that. Yes. So all of you, just think about that, the way you are doing it. So the doing matters. Yeah, the way actually you do it.
A good idea. We can invite them to do it now.
Yep.
And
so start doing it. Start doing it inside you, in your mind. The way you swim, the way you run, the way you mandala art or art and crafts or drawing or painting. Okay, the way you dance, dancing this beautiful flow, you get to know that. The way you sing, inside it, get into it. Start doing it with your body. If you would like to close your eyes or open your eyes, that's up to your choice completely. However, start doing it actually in the body. Okay.
Imagine that you're doing it now,
right now,
for a minute or two. Just imagine, and be aware of what happens to your body when you get into that state. Okay, so we'll invite you, to whoever wants to close their eyes, they can, and just go into that exercise, or into the reading, or into the cooking, or into the long walk. Imagine that you're doing it.
Do the way you do, the way you move, the way you breathe, the way the body is. Nice. Getting inside it. Be in
exactly.
it. Be in the
like
flow.
When there's no other thought coming in my mind.
Yeah,
Nice.
Vaishali.
Okay.
Okay,
now,
let's hear it from some people who have done it. What happened when you just do it right now? Was there any internal dialogue?
In the zone feeling, exactly.
In the zone. Focused on the game, totally in the game, focused.
Okay. And when we say focus totally in the game, what happened to the body? And Padma, maybe we can use you as an example. What happened to the body? To your breathing?
You can unmute yourself, Padma.
She's still mute.
Meditation rhythm.
What
Yeah.
happened to the body when you were?
Yeah, so it's a feeling wherein my body gets really into so much of in a positive way, so much of blood rushing, like
Okay.
positivity and the sportiveness, and the whatever the mind it is like, it has always been like you want to win the sport, you want to win the game, and the court, the badminton court, it is mine, and I own this. There's a sense of competitiveness in me comes out like from nowhere.
Nice description. How is your breathing? Well, for example, you're playing the game, you're in the zone. How is your breathing, for example?
Breathing is like very heavy.
And when you say heavy, how is it in terms of rhythm?
Palpitation, how do I say that? Like
you just did. Yeah. You just did it with your hand. Did everybody see what she did with her hand? It's heavy, and she did the rhythm. Okay, she didn't have to say it. She showed us her breathing rhythm. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So anybody other example?
Else? Yeah. Sudha, would you like to go ahead? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, Ridhima Madam and Kathy Madam. It's very pleasant to attend this one. I'm very happy.
Thank you.
Just at practice, I like the meditation. So in that meditation, I like this soul-heartedly. I have to concentrate, and it's like I like anyone who have the one God. So we have the soul itself, that soul, the power. We have to be there. We have to sit and in front of that one, that energy. I want to take it there. I practiced where you tell high performance. You told that one, the high performance. So wholly concentratedly, I tried for the 1.5 minute. What you told on that time. And mostly 80% to 90% I successed. On that time, my feeling is very relaxing, and it's a one happiness, that hotly happiness came. And before that, when I'm working some other singing or dancing, anything, my heartbeat is little high. But I'm singing on that way, it is a rhythmically it's changing. But once I concentrate on that meditation, I sit upon that energy, and what I in my mind I am performing highly performance. On that time, I'm very light.
Nice.
I'm very light and focused on that only. I didn't mind it. I don't know. I closed my eyes. What's going on? This one also I forget for 1 minute, the 90 seconds, 100 seconds. So I experienced it like that.
Did anyone notice that light, the way she said that, Kathy? And
exactly.
That light.
She shifted.
Yeah, she shifted there.
Her tone of voice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Nice.
Is this clear for everyone? Is this simple? Yeah.
Can we show that now? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And you go ahead. I'm showing it.
I was going to ask if is it clear on with this small little exercise we just did on something that people enjoy to do, how to get into a state. There are different levels of high performance state. Is it clear for everyone? Any questions at this point? We will go to answer the questions. I've seen it posted on the chat. But is there anything before I go on that is important for me to say? Yes, Ridhima.
I would like to just make sure everyone's high performance state in different context would be different.
Exactly.
Remember that part, what Kathy also explained, and the way you are also, all of you are writing about the breathing. So someone's breathing in a badminton game could be
heavy.
Yeah.
And rhythmatic because she's running around.
Yeah. Like that. Could be like this. Yeah. And for someone doing a cooking could be like that rhythm. I'm just doing it the way it just happens to be in my kitchen. Yeah. And getting into it. And when I am into it, it just goes on. I have no internal dialogue when I'm doing that. I'm so focused there. I know it very well. For That's why what is happening is everyone rhythm of the breath is changing in each different context. The the intention is, can I utilize this as a strategy when I know that this specific thing works for me? Where specifically can I utilize this strategy? Okay, that's the main point. So that's why self collaboration is beautiful. For example, Padma, you would have never noticed that this is your hand is actually telling you your breath.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
and
could just set it out right now. I could just feel it right when you said this.
It was really interesting how you were looking up, but you were doing it. You answered my question before you verbalized it.
Absolutely. Or the way, Sudha, when you just said light, you were going very fast, and the moment you said light, and then you move there. So the point is, there's a shift which is happening, and we go to the chain of excellence for the shift. Kathy, you would like to go ahead with that?
Okay, this is the chain of excellence used in NLP, especially new code NLP. So what we say is the breathing influences the physiology, which influences the state, which influences the performance. So if we know what performance we want to give, which is the state you should have for that performance, and how is the physiology to get to that state, and how do you breathe when you want to go into that state and perform in that way. So it's a very simple structure, and it starts with breathing, physiology, state, and performance. Most of my coaching sessions are based on the chain of excellence. I will be the structure of a coaching session, I will base it on the chain of excellence. I play around from the breathing to the physiology to get the person into a different state so they can get to the results that they want. So I use the chain of excellence quite often in my sessions. And this week, no, it was last week, and I've been repeating this excessively in all my lives and interviews and in all my posts. I don't remember who the author was, but he said, match the state to the task. So if you know the task, what's the state you're going to have to do the task? And if you know the state, how do you match the state for the task, and vice versa? So it's a very simple abbreviation of the chain of excellence, I think. And it makes so much sense. So if we know what the task is, what's the state? And if we have this state, how are we going to perform the task? And with this little exercise we just did, for me, is this clear for everybody? I would love to see the people again, even though I only see their names.
Yeah, I'm closing this. I know what you mean.
I just see the names, but it's better than just seeing 2 or 3 faces, or 2 or 3 names. So with this small exercise of doing something that you enjoy, that you go into a high performance state, your body has memorized this. And using Padma and Dr. Sudharani, is that Sudharan? As an example, one for meditation, she felt light, and Padma heavy and rhythmic. She was in a high performance while playing the game. Their bodies have memorized these states because they've repeatedly have done the movements and have done the meditation and have done the badminton games. Yes, I was thinking it was badminton, right? Yes. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So your body knows how to get there again. So you're not playing, but you want the state. You have a presentation to do. How can you go get to that state of playing the game to prepare yourself for a presentation? And the same with the meditation. You have an important meeting and you want to keep that lightness, okay? The lightness that Dr. Sudhari mentioned. Did I say it right again?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how can they achieve that? And the simple way is go back in, focus on the breathing. How do you breathe when you meditate? How do you breathe when you play badminton? Imagine that you're playing badminton, imagine that you're meditating, and access those competencies. How's the breathing? How's my physiology? That's the state I want to be in for the presentation. That's the state I want to be in for the meeting. And who says meditation or badminton can do it for cooking, walking, reading, the mandala work? Okay, your body has memorized that. The body knows internally, and in NLP we have the micro muscle mirroring. How can you access that state through micro muscle mirroring so you can achieve the state that you want for that specific context? Okay, and this is just a simple example. There are of course there are other ways to do it. This is just a very simple way to access it, like right now, if like you just did a couple of minutes ago, you were able to access that exercise. Oh, that's how I feel when I'm cooking. Maybe in what other situations is it important that I'm being in that state? Where could it take me? Okay, so any questions?
It's important for us to understand that collaborating our states physiologically and the way the breathing is. So the two important parts, the way your breathing is, the rhythm of your breathing, and the way your physiology is changing. When we start collaborating, which means we are able to detect the shift happening in our body at the time when a person said something, and oh, okay, I got a shift here. You are in an important meeting. You have got the stage, you're ready for it, you're feeling light, you are in the meeting. Now there is a meeting going on, and in the meeting, there is something which is being said, and the way your brain processed it, and it was the answer is not there. You don't know what to do. At that time, also detecting your shifts, being able to detect what is happening in the body, and what I need to do is quickly come back to my state, which I know work, which I know helps, is what the idea is. It's about a lot of applications to play around in different ways in the different context. Yeah. So it is not only about meditation. So I would like all of you to understand it is not only about yoga or meditation. It's about utilizing it at any given context, whether it is success or achieving anything. Yep. All right. Let's go ahead and ask more questions. We would love to have questions around it so that we can help you to understand the concept. Advocate Mrinal. Yeah.
Can I just
yeah,
give him? When we asked you to go into that exercise of doing something that you enjoyed doing, something that you loved doing, is it the same as it right now you're sitting and listening to us?
Yes. Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Isn't there a difference?
Difference is that before that my concentration little deviating is going on. When I that exercise I did, after that automatically my without of my intention concentrating on this session.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So
Nice.
it helped for the session. But before you did the exercise, was there a difference? And
Yes.
this goes to everybody. Was there a difference? Yes or no?
Yes, difference is there.
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel after the exercise? So we can compare before doing this exercise and where you imagine something that you like to do, that you enjoy doing, compared to before we did the exercise. What were the differences in the breathing? What were the differences in the physiology? What were the difference in your state? And in this case, Dr. Shudharani mentioned that she felt she could concentrate better after doing that exercise. Okay. Did anybody else feel like that? Any other examples?
It could be anything. It could be anything, literally anything. So it's not necessary that you're feeling concentrated. It could be different.
Okay, I'll do something different. Can I invite everybody to stand up? Just stand up. Stand up.
For the purpose of the exercise, if you would like to understand some changes or
stand up.
Feel.
Okay, if you could still hear me, straighten your back. Okay, stand up. You can put your hands on your waist. Okay, like here. Put your hands on your waist. Okay? Put your chin up and breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay? 2 more times. One more. Okay? Now, you can sit down. Thank you very much. Is there a difference between your sitting down and the standing up? Do you feel a difference?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. There were differences. What were those differences? Give it to me. Give it to us. Sorry. What were the differences you felt?
Come on, start writing. If there's, what is that specific difference you're feeling? Okay, relaxed. All right. What else?
Okay.
Differences in body, breathing. If someone noticed a temperature,
Confidence.
or rhythm,
Who answered confidence?
Confidence.
Yes.
calmness,
Okay.
power,
Calm. Exactly. And tension and change in the energy mode. Nice.
more connected with maybe with self, or okay, uplifting. Nice.
And
Mind more.
literally, there was an uplift. You did lift.
Yeah.
You went up. Concentrated on the breathing. Okay. So there was a change. Yes.
Yes.
And it's something simple that depends on whom. Your state shift depends on whom. Okay, I told you to stand up. You could have chosen not to, but who, self, exactly. It depends on you. So it's your body. And if you stand up, it's your choice. You can change, you can shift your state. Yes, it depends on my own actions. Exactly.
Exactly.
And this is just something simple. This with self-awareness and self-calibration can take you so far in realizing how you can change your states and go into high performance states whenever you want, on demand. Yusuf, is that how you pronounce your name? Yusuf? Is that your son? He did the standing also. Hello.
So you pronounced
That's
it
why I like
my son.
That's why I like the
Wow.
cameras.
Wow.
How did you feel when you stood up? How did you feel when you stood up? If you want to answer, of course.
Are you asking me or him?
Both.
Both, yeah. So I felt more connect with the session, and
Okay.
whenever we do a certain activity, definitely there is a more connect. So I felt more connect. So what did you feel?
Okay.
When I stood up, I felt more connected with the universe because our body
Okay.
is upright. So it's kind of being connected with the universe, with the energy. And when I
Okay. And how
sat down, I felt a little bit of comfortable, we can say.
nice. The difference.
Wow.
I was comfortable sitting down. When I stood up, I felt connected to the universe, and that is his interpretation of his experience. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Lovely.
Okay, something as simple as sitting down and standing up, and sometimes I question, what are we doing with our educational system? And this is for another hour. What we're doing with our educational system and asking the kids to sit down for so long in school. And this was a good example. I felt comfortable. Okay, sitting down, yeah, okay. Like I'm watching Netflix. Okay, and standing up, I felt more connected. I felt more connected to the universe. Okay, does that make sense?
Can I just add on one thing?
Sure.
Now, Yusuf, what's his name?
His name is Rehan.
Rehan. Hi, Rehan. First of all, thank you so much for joining in. I would love to see you again and again. It's a beautiful thing. Because you know what? We learn from you all. We learn from kids.
Exactly.
I learned from my child. Now, do you know, Rehan, that we can utilize it in our own life a lot? Would you like to know it?
Yes, sure.
Yes. Interesting. He's so interesting. Nice. So I'll quickly tell all
I
of
love to
you.
work with the kids.
Yeah, I'll quickly tell all of you one small, very small story about shifting the states, which my son did. He is just going to be 10 on 1st of July. What he did was he got hurt by a stone on the head. The blood was flowing down. Of course, it is a serious issue. The small children were tensed. They were crying. They were shouting, and he was like, "Relax, don't shout, because shouting is making me more trouble. Don't shout right now." He did that. He ran towards the lift with one of his friends, and he came to the house. The moment he entered, I have my beautiful maid, my family member. She was also in a different state. "Oh my God, what happened, Rachit?" And he said to the auntie, "Auntie, don't react this way. It will not help me." He ran to the wash basin and poured a lot of water, and he said, "Auntie, please get me a lot of ice so that it stops." And he got that, and he sat in front of the TV and said, "Switch on the TV, get me a Maggie. Till then, mom and dad are coming to shift my state so that I don't focus there."
Awesome. Wow.
Wonderful.
So the point is utilizing your body whenever you want. Now, whenever you want to utilize your body, whenever you want to feel different, you can play around it and choose your body to do different things. Yep.
Right.
Do it, find out, and let us know more. We love to be in connect with you. Nice. Great. So
Thank you.
thank
you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Oh, let's take more questions. We had a question, Kathy. I'll just go back to the question.
Okay, okay, sure. Yes, nice.
I'm an advocate, so can I use the state in the theater while I argue before the court? Of course, Mrinal. Would you like to come over the video and the audio? He would love to connect with you. Did you read the question, Kathy?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
I'll just write this
Okay.
right now for everyone. So he's talking about how do I utilize the state choice in why he's in theater.
Oh, yeah. Although, yes, that's important.
Mrinal, could you please come over? We would love
Yes,
to.
yes,
Yeah.
I have come over. Hi. So
Hello.
I just wanted to hello. So that thought just came into my mind. So I'm just curious to know, because theater is my hobby. So can I use that state of mind, which be there in the theater while arguing before the court? That's what I wanted to ask.
So both of them are different context. In court, you want a different state. In theater, what is your choice? So I can't hear you, Mrinal. Could you hear Kathy?
No, I can't.
Mrinal, I can't hear you.
There must be some problem with the
yeah. Good. I can hear you now. I can't hear you, so I can't hear you, Mrinal. Can you try that again, please, once? Yeah. No.
There must be some connectivity
issue.
issue.
You're there.
Yes. So I was asking, see, when you took up the exercise, I was not there. I mean, I got disconnected. So my query is the state of mind which can be there while doing theater. Can I use that state while arguing before the court? That's what my question is.
Yes, it depends on the intention. What is the intention you would like to achieve in the court? Okay. So in the theater, the intention, the state which you are carrying in the theater. So in the theater, I am being a super powerful woman. That's one.
Yes.
I'm a naughty daughter, and I'm playing with my mommy, and I'm doing that. That's one other state, right? Now, in the context, in the court, what is the intention? What I want to achieve. This is what I want to achieve. So, which state of theater would go here? a naughty daughter or a powerful woman?
Obviously, a powerful woman.
Yeah, you can, just an interpretation, you can take that choice again and
Hmm.
carry that state of a powerful woman from theater to the court and test
Okay.
what happens.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right. I've
Thank
also
you.
observed that it's also about maintaining the states. It's a lot about maintaining your states with the
Right.
rhythms
Right.
there.
Right. Right.
Right,
Right.
right, correct. So that's what I was saying, that you're ready with the state, you go into the meeting, and then suddenly you're straight break. Maintaining the state is the most important thing, which can help as
Okay.
well. Yep.
Okay.
Do
Thank
it,
you.
and we will be in connect with you with more personal discussions.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you.
More questions? More questions? There was one more question by Mrinal. Is that how to apply state of mind which present when we play? Yeah, we can do that with Vishali as well. Ankita says, I work with kids. There is one kid who, while learning scribbles in his book, doodling, his teacher was complaining to me. Yes, of course. Doodling could be helpful for focusing. Yep, could be. Yes.
There's
Mine.
so many interesting stories with kids in
Yes.
this aspect.
Yes, yes. I do agree, because my kid, when he learns, he do like this. He'll keep doing like this and he learns. I would not like to stop him to do it.
What I invite and Ankita, is that how you pronounce it? Ankita? When kids do this, like, or writing or moving or fiddling, or what I advise before jumping to the conclusion that they're not paying attention, which us adults have the tendency to do, test them, question them, in the sense of if they are paying attention or not. I'm going to give this very quick example. I was giving a training in Italy, and it was a group, it was mixture of adults and children, teenagers. And there was a kid at the back of the room who, while I was talking, and I was talking about the chain of excellence, and I was talking about high performance, I was talking about this actually, was on top of a balancing board. You know what a balancing board is? The one, it's like a board and a little ball, and you balance on top of it. He was on the balancing board and he was juggling while I was giving the presentation. And I caught sight of him at the corner of my eye, and I like these kind of cases. So at the interval, I went up to him and I said, can I use you in the course? And he goes, yes, of course you can. So could I ask you some odd, random questions? And you would answer them in front of everybody, because we were in front of 100 and something people. I wanted to make sure it was okay with him. And he goes, yeah, sure, no problem. So when I came back to the presentation, I asked him one simple thing, and I said, what have I been talking about this whole morning? And he repeated everything. He repeated the chain of excellence. He repeated that the breathing rhythm was important. He repeated that the physiology of sitting down or standing up was important. He repeated almost everything I had said in the morning. And he had been juggling on top of a balancing board, I found out after, for more than 2 hours while I was talking. So my question is, should we put these kids sitting down all day long? Or should this be in movement? Should we be putting these kids in a high performance state to learn? And he repeated everything I said. And then I didn't know, his sister, who's a very good friend of mine, comes up to me and goes, oh, have you met my brother? And I go, no, I haven't. Oh, that's my brother. And I go, that's your brother? Yeah, he has some learning difficulties. And I said, really? And he goes, yeah. And I go, okay, it didn't seem like it. And he goes, why did you say that? I invited him to talk in front of everybody. And she goes, you're kidding. And I'm going, no, he spoke in front of everybody. And she goes, he's shy. My mom sent him to this course because he has learning difficulties in school. He won't do his exams because he loses his state. He's very emotional. He doesn't talk to anybody. He doesn't have any friends. And I'm going, oh, well, that's not the case. He spoke in front of 100 and something people today. So my question is, what are we doing when we ask them to sit down and, like our dear friend answered, I feel comfortable? Is feeling comfortable the best way to learn? I'm just asking. So Is it maybe a mixture of sitting down with standing up and juggling and going onto the balancing board or playing badminton or reading or going on a balancing board or going on top of a Pilates ball? My question is, how can we change the physiology so we change the state, so we change the result we're getting with the kids at the level of school? This is just a question I keep asking. So I leave it to you for everyone to explore also. So thank you for that. Okay.
I am with that thought. I would like to rather test and find out what can be done more. Okay,
Yeah, I
all right.
agree.
Let's proceed. There is a question by Monica.
Okay, sure.
There's a question I have written over there. She says, if I want someone to be a high performance state, say for an interview, which is like make or break situation, could I follow something similar that you did with the athlete?
Yes,
Example.
I do that. Yeah. I prepare people for interviews, work job interviews, where I use the new code game and get them in states, change their shifts, and I prepare them for interviews. Yes.
So, Monica, the answer is yes, of course. However, every individual is different, so it could be different ways to do it by collaborating and understanding. There could be multiple ways. Okay. All right. Any more questions coming up? What do you understand about the high performance state, and more questions around it, and how can you utilize it more? Lovely. Thank you so much, Ankita. Thank you so much. What else would you like to know, and how can you utilize it? Utilization is important. Next week, we're going to have a discussion around new code NLP, and you have almost 6 days with all of you. And I would invite all of you to task yourself to understand how can you utilize high performance. For example, observe, collaborate. How is your breathing shifting when you are listening to music and you're enjoying and you are happy with it, to something which you see or something which you heard? Okay, just notice, observe, collaborate your shifts. Could be breathing, could be the tensions on the forehead, could be the way your eye movements are, could be the temperature on your cheeks, could be the way the lips are, could be the jaw, the movement, the tension, could be the neck, the way it is. Just observe, collaborate, self-collaborate yourself, and the next time when you come back, you can share your observations, that what happens when you are in X to Y. What can you do with this? Once you know that what happens with your X and Y, you can utilize that. It's a strategy. It's your body. You can actually utilize the way your body is reacting, if body is working, if physiology is shifting. Okay, you can pick that up and utilize it where you want. For example, Runal, you can utilize your body the way powerful theater is to the court and replace it. Check what happens and how do you do it. Okay, it's very interesting. It just comes like this once you start practicing it. Any more questions which we have over here around it? We are happy to take questions.
Can I, ma'am?
Yeah, go ahead, Sudha, go ahead.
Yes, Kathy and Ridhima, both of you. This high performance, we can use that low confidence, like some are fear. Suppose the public speaking, in that public speaking, their mic holding like that, nervous will come like this. So before that, they are imagining like that. Before that, this is a state of performance. So we are not there nervous, and we can speak very good way that we can utilize this.
Yes, we can. I would also like to add on, before you said, before we go into it, we will think about that. How do I hold my mic, etc., etc. And I would like to just add on a little there. When I am on the stage, I would access my state there on the stage, because what happens, this is a generalization, what happens, the people are losing their state on the stage and not before, so they're getting ready, etc., etc. On the stage, I can utilize it by getting my state there, by accessing it. So powerful hold of, for example, the mic, the way she was handling the racket with 2 hands tied together.
Yes.
So I have my own states. When I go to my power presentations, I have the way my shoulders are, and the moment I just get my shoulders back over here, I know that it is there. It's just there. Yep. Okay. So we can utilize accessing it at that moment itself. At that moment. Okay. Interesting. Nice. And one more thing. I have received questions around confidence.
One
You
is
can also
what that having.
go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah. In that example, what I told that example, that more the heart beating and the anxiety, the people the feel who are the nervous.
I lost her.
To people, the public on stage. So when this using before that, that anxiety will come down and the perfectly worthwhile to performance there. What they think. So it is. I thought it is useful. We can utilize that in my view. But what you say that both of
both before and inside it. Yes, definitely. We can utilize.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
I can also test a new code game as well. With that person. I don't know. We need to check more. Yeah. Deepali says any other techniques for high performance. There are many other ways to get into high performance. New code games, rhythm of life, alphabet, juggling, balls. Kathy, the example which you gave just now about that boy who was balancing, he was also Kathy, unmute yourself. He was balancing.
He was in a high performance state with the juggling. Okay. And sometimes when you're thinking, I was thinking, and you have your keys or something in your hand and you're thinking, how could I do this? And you throw from one hand to another and you're thinking, okay, oh God, what am I going to do? And you're naturally doing this. I mean, sometimes it happens to me. I don't know if it happens to anybody else. Or you're making a decision. I start walking up and down the corridor. I said, I have to, you do it too. So these are natural things that are shifting our states. So we're getting into that mode. Okay. So what can we do? What's missing? So pay attention to those moments because they can be very revealing in how you can get into different kinds of states. Again, self-awareness, self-calibration. Okay. Balancing helps a lot to get into high performance state also. Balancing on the Pilates balls.
Okay. Yeah, we have more questions here. How to change negative mind as the barrier in high performance? Did you read that question as well? How to change negative mind?
When you say negative and when you're in the negative state, how's the my first question is, how's the breathing? How's the physiology when you're in a negative state?
Okay. Me 3I. Could you?
Okay. Can you? And this is for everybody. This is a very good question for everybody. How is your physiology when you're in a negative state? Okay. I'm usually with my shoulders forward, my head drops, I'm looking down, I'm more hunched. This is me. Again, this is my experience, okay? My breathing is more in my chest and it's slightly quicker. Okay? So, that's my negative state. So if I know my negative state is when I'm in a closed physiology, I'll say closed, with my shoulders forward, with my head dropped, and I want to break that negative state, I'll stand up, straighten my back, walk back and forward in my corridor until my physiology and my state is where I want it to be, for example. Okay. Did that answer the question?
I will just write down one more thing, which I'm writing over here for your question, real am I? What you're saying is that insecurity, I understand. What are we getting into? How is the body reacting? How is the physiology and the breathing specifically when I am insecure? So we are getting into the how of it. Okay. Recently I discussed with one of the person and said that what happens with human behavior is we start thinking that why are we thinking negative? Instead of that why, start thinking what can I do right now to change my state at this moment. Focus on the now. That can also help. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Red MI 3, real me 3I. I need to know the name. I don't know the name. Okay, let's go ahead. Can we change our own codings, Nisha? Codings? You mean the way we think, the way we program ourselves? Yes, absolutely. I believe so. Why I believe so? Because I've done it for myself. That's why I can say it. You need to test it by yourself. Okay.
Any other question?
Yeah, there's one more question. I'm just finding the question more.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Real MI3, could you just come back? Yep, you're saying something, Kathy. How can we change the state of anxiety in war zone situations? That's a question. How can we change the state of anxiety in war zone situations? Tanu.
Okay, those are more intense.
Yeah.
Protocols, more intense situations. What we're giving here is, like Ridhima said at the beginning, it's the tip of the iceberg, and it's in quick, simple situations. Okay, there are like war victims and war post-traumatic stress. These are required another kind of protocols. Okay, so in those situations, yes, we can change the state of the person in association to the war context, to the situation, to the context that the person became anxious in. This would take other techniques. Okay, it's not as simple as, oh, stand up and breathe. It's more complex than that, because it's a very intense situation. Okay, so very challenging to explain right now in 2 minutes. What we're giving is just a very simple experimental, the person being aware of their body and experimenting these tiny shifts from standing up to sitting down, from imagining myself cooking to when I'm watching Netflix. So I'm just asking to calibrate and to be aware of the shifts, which are small compared to someone who suffers from post-traumatic stress or has anxiety from a war situation, which is a very intense situation. So different protocols are used, but with the same structure. Okay.
Does that answer your question as well?
Not completely, but yeah.
It's
possible to change the state.
Yeah, it's possible. I think it would depend on the scenario, the way the scenario is, the stress, the entire process of the way the brain is processing information, how high or how low it is. Yeah. There is a question by Sakshi saying, can I utilize it for procrastination, high performance state? I can, yes, definitely. Procrastination is something which I am not doing. What I love to do, I will start thinking about it and replace that physiology and breathing into it. However, I can also test it with the kind of intention. If I'm procrastinating, there could be some positive intention around it. What is that intention serving, etc., etc., and I can do it a little differently than only just changing the state, so that it doesn't come back and I know what to do then. Okay, Sakshi. Nisha, can you please tell some techniques how to code and decode our state of mind? Okay, that would, again, I would take this as a topic itself. I'm writing it down for my team, Kathy. Lovely, Ravi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great. Nice. He's saying that I'm doing it with myself. Interesting.
Exactly.
You can share it, Ravi, with others. How are you doing it so that people can learn from you? Yeah. So there are 2 questions which is left. Can you please tell some techniques how to code and decode our state of mind? From Nisha. Would you like to say something on that, Kathy? Because it will take a little detailed discussion.
It's again what Ridhima and I have been saying, of self-calibration and self-awareness, the capacity to detect shifts, and how we can utilize those shifts into getting into a high performance state, or into the state which is appropriate for the task. So again, today, what we're giving is just a simple example. Okay, what do you like to do? What do you enjoy to do that is in the flow, that will put you in the flow and in focus, and utilize that state. How am I breathing? How am I moving? How am I, what are my thoughts? Hopefully there aren't any, but what are they, and how can I utilize it to get into the state that I want to? This is just a small, and do the transfer. Okay. First of all, what is state? State is physiology, neurology, and biochemistry. Okay. We're working at the level of physiology. We change the physiology with the intention of changing the neurology, and of course there's an internal shift on the level of biochemistry. But we as coaches, as new code trainers and new code coaches, we work with the physiology to create the shift. Okay, so the technique is move your body, go dancing, go climb a mountain, go ride a bike, go on top of a balancing board, learn how to juggle. Okay, those help get into a different state. Okay.
I love this question, Yusuf. When I study for exams, I walk in the house. I can so relate with it because I used to do that as well. And how do I concentrate in the examination hall when I can't walk? So I was just doing this right now. But the moment you ask a question to me, I just I tap into my own self and what happens to me. When I used to walk in my home, and this is what I used to do. I used to walk, and I was just now tapping with my fingers the same kind of rhythm to my thighs. Okay, did you get that? I was tapping. I don't know whether you can hear that tap right now. I was tapping my.
Nice.
I was actually doing it. I utilized this in my exams as well. It is about getting that rhythm, the rhythm which is there in your breathing. And the same rhythm can come in the examination by getting the intensity of the movement, the kinesthetics, the movements of your hands. Try this out. Let me know how does it work with you.
Yes, sure.
Great, lovely, interesting. It's all about the rhythms, yeah? Lovely, nice, that's a good one. Okay, so if there are any other question which is left, and there are some more questions which was all about detailed discussion about coding, decoding state, or getting over the negativity, or what was that? From getting from negative to positive awareness, further it can be, but most of these struggle with awareness. So there is a way to get them to the state of awareness. Yeah, Anirudh, it's a choice. It's a choice, completely a choice, whether I want to or it's a choice. It's a choice, and I think it would happen when there is a self-realization by its own. No one can force that choice. Actually, this is what I think. What do you want to say, Kathy?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything almost you say. Almost. Almost. Yes, I agree.
All right, lovely. Okay, Daisy, Varun, I would get back to you with that. If there is a coaching which is not working, then there is something which can be done more. It is good if it is not working because it is serving some intention. So before we close, I would invite all of you to remind you have a task to do. The task for yourself, that's a choice. You have a choice to do it, to test yourself, to cultivate yourself. When you come the next week, infuse yourself, and we're going to discover more on the new code NLP. You can go to the personal coaching to have a personal coaching with us. You can go to ridhimadua.com and go to the meet as well. That's a coaching, not counseling. So you can go to the meet and directly, and we can get back to you or with all of you as well. Very important, people who are here to learn, we are running NLP coaching course in a detailed way, 6 weeks intensive work around yourself. You can ask that detail as well from my team. They would be happy to give you the details because it's just a tip. Understand, it's just a tip. There is a lot of information inside with yourself and with us as well. Okay, so thank you. Yeah.
I would love to see people, so it would be really nice to encounter the people in the coaching course if it's possible. So I'd love to see and work with everyone actually. And plus, this is not enough. I want more.
Yes, exactly. This is not the end of high performance stage. We can still discuss a little more. This is what we want to say. There is a lot to explore with all of us. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for
Thank
giving
you. Thank you.
examples, questions, and being patient. And thank you, Yusuf, for
Thank
bringing
you.
your son as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone,
Yes.
to participate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, to participate.
Bye-bye.
I'll
Take
see
care.
you
Thank you.
on
Thank you.
Wednesday. I'll see you
Thank
on
you.
Wednesday. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Ridhima ma'am and Kathy madam. Such a wonderful and worthy session.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you, Sudha. Thank you so much for lovely words.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks.
Ravi, I like
I'd-
your example. That's very interesting. Collaboration, observation. Nice.
Oh, his son is gorgeous.
Yeah.
He should be teaching the next class.
Yeah. Yes. I
He should
totally
teach
agree.
us. He
I
should
totally
teach
agree
us.
with the questions he had. Amazing. Amazing. Mrinal, we would love to hear from you after you do the practice with yourself. Yeah. Varun,
Yes.
I will connect with you. Daisy is a Daisy, I guess, right? Daisy, I'll connect with you. Yeah. It's an interesting thing. Nice. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We will
Thank you.
leave the meeting.
Thank
We will see you
you.
the next Wednesday. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Hey, Ravi, we see you. Bye.
Oh, these lovely people.
I'm closing the meeting here. Thanks.